All right. What's up, guys? Dr. Mo here, digital nomad physician at digitalnomadphysician.com. So those of you who follow me also ask me quite a lot about designing your own website, your own platforms, how to get started, what to do, what to create, what not to create. And so I decided, I'm like, let me just go ahead and put this out there again. I've done some videos kind of like it in the past, but anybody who wants to get started creating something of your own, remember that there's a ton of options, right? There are platforms that you're going to choose from: podcast, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Substack, Medium, and they're always going to change. There are always going to be new ones. But one thing that I always say: written content, audio content, and video content are always going to be there. So no matter where you create that stuff, you can always grab it and turn it into something else. So you can hire someone to grab it for you, extract it from the blog post that you created, and put it into some new medium or platform. All right, let's talk about where you're going to host your website. So, for example, you're looking for a particular website. Where do you put it? How do you host it? What we mean by that is the website Siteground.com that has to be purchased. It's usually a couple, like 20, 30 bucks a year. And then you need to host it. All this stuff that you put in, all the files and everything, and the way people access it has to be hosted by somebody. And that can be another 10, 20 bucks a month, or $2.99 a month, as they say here. I have found SiteGround to be very good for that. There are many other ones that you can choose from, but I do recommend that you do your research and purchase something where you can have enough growth. What I mean by that: if you only have maybe 5 people subscribed to your website initially and very little traffic, it's not a big deal. Once you have maybe 1,000 people subscribed and you have like 200,000 people coming to your website every month, your site is going to get very, very slow. And when your site gets slow, the user experience drops and Google doesn't like it and all sorts of stuff. So you want to get something good like this, and SiteGround is going to offer you quite a lot of that. So looking at SiteGround, they talk about, all the cloud hosting versus web hosting, what you can have on there, like WordPress. You can have that anywhere where they offer it to you. They talk about how fast they are, and some of the things that are already built in. And I gotta say, it's pretty good. I've had other ones in the past, and I have not been happy, let's just say. That's why I switched to SiteGround, and I'm quite happy I did. So when it comes to the different types of plans, so for example, the WordPress hosting is no different than web hosting, so I'm not really too worried about that. But you can start as little as, let's say, $3 a month if you pay for the entire year, or 15 bucks a month if you pay month to month. And the main difference is that they give you, am I in Spanish? Of course I am, because I'm currently in Spain. And it looks like I can't change the language. Oh well. So, for example, the things that they're going to give you, they might give you an email account, a CDN, which means that your website is going to run a little bit faster. The SSL, all of these are free, gratuitos in all of them, so that's pretty good. Maybe one reason you might go higher is because you might want to keep a lot of photos or videos on your particular, you want to host a lot of stuff like that, then it might make sense to go with something bigger because they give you more data storage. And then you might have one sitio web, so you only have one website, or you have multiple, so unlimited. So these are the main differences between these, and you can always change while you're in it, so I'm not too worried about that. Again, it's not going to break your bank. So that's a little bit about web hosting. That means once you get into SiteGround, that's your dashboard where you manage all the behind the scenes for your website, for your URL, for your domain, www.digitalnomadphysician.com. But you also now need to think of it as an operating system where you actually have your site. So what I mean by that, if we go over here to this next one, Kijabi is one such example. Kijabi is a place where you can create your actual website. You can create online courses, you can create communities, you can create what's called sales funnels. We'll get into that in a second. And another example might be just good old WordPress. WordPress is a very simple operating system on the internet, let's just call it that, where you can basically create different types of content, create different types of pages. So when you guys look at digitalnomadphysician.com, over here you can see that I have a very basic, this is WordPress, and I have a very basic intro page here. I have some common links that people find useful, my different brands that I have: Digital Nomad Physician, Heart Health Coach, Digital Nomad Health, and then some random articles and links, a place where people can subscribe. And then I have a little bit about myself on this page. I have a link for people to consult with me up here so they can do my 1 hour consulting session. I have a place where they can read all the different types of articles and blog posts or any kind of content I've ever created. I have a link where they can go to just check out my podcasts, like whether it's on Audible, Apple Podcast, Podcast Addict, etc. And then I have a link for people to go and check out my YouTube channel. So all of this is something that I can do in WordPress quite easily, and it hasn't been anything complicated for me, quite honestly. So WordPress is what I use, but I can tell you that a lot of people use either Kijabi or they will use Wix. So let's start with Wix, and then we'll kind of work our way through it. Wix has been around for quite some time, and it's basically a website builder, and it's very intuitive. You can kind of drag and drop things to make it look exactly the way you want. And you can see here they got links on top, and you can measure your throughput in your website just to get some statistics in case you want to kind of measure how well you're doing. There are, let's skip that. Here are the different types of platforms, different types of the way your page can look. So what I mean by that is a different layout, and you can choose this layout and start with that and just make tiny modifications, change the photos, etc. And it's really cool because all these different templates are available to you. And the price is quite fair. So you can get started for as little as 29 bucks a month. You can have multiple people log in to your account to do some of the editing for you. You get plenty of website storage. 100 gigabytes is quite a lot. Even 2 gigabytes is going to be quite a bit. There's some marketing content on there. There's analytics if you want to see how many people have been going on your site. Here's a good breakdown of all the different things that are available for you. So you're probably not going to go with the 150, right? Usually at 30 bucks a month, you're going to be pretty happy. I love the different templates that they have. So again, you can click on it and then you can start editing it. I think this is going to ask me to log in, but I can just move things around and change things to see what suits me most. Like, oh, maybe I want to have one piece moved over here and I want to have this font changed a little bit. I always recommend when you first create your site, go with a particular template that is as close to what you want as possible and just change the wording. Don't mess around with it too much. In the beginning, you just kind of want to get used to it. And the more time you spend there, the easier it'll become to make modifications later. And finally, I like their e-commerce site. So for example, if you want to sell digital content, Wix has that ability, has a lot of different types of features, but definitely if you want to sell stuff, whether it's physical or obviously for most of us physicians, it's probably going to be online courses or like a community where people buy a membership, that's very much available to you. So that's Wix, okay? Not too expensive, pretty good. And next I'll talk about Kijabi. Kijabi is a little bit more expensive, but it allows you to do a lot of things. It allows you to create sales funnels. Wix allows it in their own way too, but it's not as intuitive as maybe with Kijabi. And Wix also has a full tutorial course and everything, by the way. I didn't get into that, but there's a community there. There's online courses you can take for free just to know how to really set up your Wix. With Kijabi, they definitely took it to another level. They got the whole Kijabi University. You can watch videos, you can learn how to create content, membership, marketing, everything's really well done. That's why they charge a little bit more, but your website's very professional and you can create all different types of courses on there. The website's very interactive. You can trickle content in there, which you don't need to know about until you need to know about it. And it's a great way to basically run your business. Really good photo editing, many different ways to accept payments from your Google Pay to Apple Pay, and I think they take PayPal, they do Stripe, etc. I think you can hire people to work to do everything for you on Kijabi. So if you want to do that, so Meet Heroes, Knowledge, Our Community. it's somewhere here where you can hire people to do everything pretty much for you. But manage payments, analytics. Okay, so they also have analytics. So if you want to set up a community, so let's go to this one. Let's go to the prices, because I think that question comes up a lot. So if you do it annually versus monthly, so let's say you do it month to month, it's going to be about 120 bucks. If you purchase it for the entire year, it comes out to 120 bucks, but about 150 to get started, and that's pretty good. You got very little transaction fee. You can have 3 products. You can have different funnels, which means I'll show you guys what funnels look like in a minute, but it's a good way to sell products, digital courses, etc., to people. I mean, I think for somebody who has a lot more courses, some people have like 150 courses, believe it or not. So this might make more sense at $400 a month. The sales funnel basically means somebody might download a free ebook that you give them. Then they get an email that says, hey, I also have this course you might be interested in. And then they download that course and you charge them some money, and you create all these different links. Like I click on this, I download that, and then I get this message, and then I get a follow-up message. I'm so about that stuff. I usually opt out of that stuff. But yeah, it's a really cool sales funnel for people who are interested to take it to another level, and everything's already built in. And like I said, I think for those of you who just really want to master something before you hand it over to somebody to do it for you, the Kijabi University is great. Their community where you can talk to other people and learn how to do certain things is fabulous. I've played around with it and it's been really good. So that's Kijabi. Now we did Wix, we did Kijabi. All of these would be hosted on Siteground. Remember, that's the main place where you host everything. These are the other added things that you do. And the last thing I want to talk about is WordPress. I use WordPress. A lot of people WordPress. I believe the majority of the internet is WordPress these days. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what I've learned. And WordPress is fairly simple. It's just a way where you can get started with having a website. This is a WordPress website. You got different links up here. You got different things you can click on over here. And then you can have a bunch of different themes. So for example, let's see, which theme do I have? I have one of these themes. I have either 2022, no, I have 2021. So you can see it's kind of similar to mine, you know, like it's got the thing up there and it's got the big wording there for my websites. And that's what I use. You can just download it. Everything's free on WordPress. So all the different types of themes and everything are free. And I think for Kijabi and stuff, for the most part, it's free, but some of them are paid. And so once you download the basic backbone of your template of what it's going to look like, then you make modifications and edits. And then there are plugins. So for example, let's say that I want to upload a bunch of images to my site, but the images take a long time to load. Well, then I download this free. Pretty much all of them are free. Some of them are a little bit paid. It's a plugin to work with WordPress to make the WordPress functionality even greater. So this smush over here will actually basically squish down or compress the files to make it much faster. Other things might be anti-spam. You're going to get a lot of spam when you run your own website. Security and backup features so that you can back up your website. Performance plugins to make it faster. Contact forms if you want to create a contact form that people can fill out. This is a very popular search engine optimization. All of them offer some sort of search engine optimization, but like Yoast, for example, costs about $200 a year, so you're gonna have to pay for that plugin. But basically what it does is if I type in a content like how to do telemedicine from abroad, that keyword, if it gets searched on Google, my website would show up for it. So it would kind of help me make sure that my website comes up when somebody searches for it. Otherwise, the content I create would be useless. And there's a tutorial, there's lesson plans, there's YouTube videos, lots of stuff on WordPress, pretty easy. It's definitely a cheaper alternative from all of them. And Kijabi is the most expensive. And you can imagine Kijabi is going to be much easier to use. And then there's a repository of photos that you can use, totally free if you want to create your content. So that's WordPress. And we did Kijabi and I think it's a very good price, honestly, for anybody who wants just like all the bells and whistles. And we finally did Siteground for where you're going to host your stuff. And we did Wix. Wix also is very popular, very easy to use, and not that expensive. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, connect with me on my website, leave a comment here, and take care, guys.